July. Now we're in July. What are the expectations?
Okay, thank you and good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners.
Yes.
Greetings to all members. And thank God GhanaWeb TV has come. I know it has come to stay.
Thank you, sir.
So most of the things happen in our second term. And I think that's where the party should look at it. Draw policies that will help us to hold on to whatever we have, whenever there are international strikes.
Okay. Now the party is going to consider Psalm 56, which has been brought down from over 300.
Yeah.
What's your expectation? Are you upbeat that all of these 56 are going to be adopted into the party, and that's what's going to put you on track again, as you say, to rebuild towards 2028?
Yeah, I've sat through to read all the proposed amendments. And as I came here, I came with my constitution. So last night I was doing the comparison of proposed amendments and looking at what people are saying, what even my personal perceptions as to how things are to be done. Yes. Though the 56 proposed amendment doesn't cure all what I was expecting. Our political party are not built on individual thinking. It's a collective something. Because I was of the view that before somebody can contest for maybe a constituency officer, the person should have served as a polling station officer. Before one can contest as regional officer, the person should serve as maybe polling station or constituency. Then national CEOs, MPs, regional officers, so that the person whom a position is given will be somebody that is in the party. So people say small popularity they get in the party, they will tell you we are contesting. Meanwhile, their level of knowledge in terms of the principles of the party will not be as astute as it should be. So that was my personal suggestion, that or motion that I wanted, but it didn't appear. It doesn't mean that what they brought is not.
It means what you propose didn't get featured.
You see, there were a lot of proposals. We have 275 constituencies in Ghana. We have 17 constituency executives in all the 276. We have polling stations in all about 40,000 to 50,000 polling stations that we have. And there was a release that we should write proposals. So Charlie, Abi, you know. Yeah, so the 56 I've gone through it, and I think especially where the 53 on the women voting,
okay,
where they say all women who form part of delegates should be given the chance to vote for women organizers.
Okay.
How can you go for a congress and a woman is part of the delegate, but you don't get chance to vote for women organizers? But now, if you are MP and you are a woman, you vote. Okay. So it helped the candidate to move around all the sectors, meet all stakeholders, so far as women bodies in the party are concerned. Because at first it was dwelling on only constituency women organizers, national and deputy women organizers, and TESCOM women who comes.
So now it's been expanded more.
It's been expanded. So if you are MP and you are a woman, if you are a constituency officer, not necessarily women organizer, and you are a woman, you qualify to vote.
Okay.
Same thing applies to the youth. If you are 35 downwards and you are executive, you qualify to vote. Okay. At first it was the constituency youth organizers, regional youth organizers who were voting. But now that place too is expanded so that to help the candidate to meet parliamentary group youth within the party who are delegates, not necessarily only constituency youth organizers.
You've mentioned some of the motions, but are those your most striking out of these numbers? Which other ones, or are these the most striking for you?
Yeah, this is, you see, there has been contention on the age as to who qualifies to contest for the youth organizer position in the party. And per the preamble given the UN definition is 35.
Okay.
So now, if you look at the 54, is there now the party too don't want to be left out in world composition of things. So the party too has brought it to 35.
Okay.
Not like what NDC did some time ago, where a 60-year-old man was a youth organizer. Now youth organizer are 35. I think it's in order.
All right. You'll be without the presence of two of your biggest names in the political party. I'm talking about former presidents who both served 2 terms. I mean, former President before and also former President Nana Akufo-Addo. Already, even coming into this conference recently, we had former President before grant an interview where he expressed some dissatisfaction. The two of them are not going to be around today. Would that not in any way affect what's going to happen today in any way?
Of course, to correct that thing, at times as politicians, we do something to ourselves which I see it as disingenuous.
Okay.
The conversation between the former president and Brian Champon was about a month ago, where these banters were not in play. And actually, maybe Brian Champon went to him to visit him, and the man spoke about something that he thinks needs to be corrected.
Okay.
I think it would be bad when you visit me in my house, and the next 2 days, you see the conversation I've had with you in the media. It doesn't show, excuse my language, maturity.
So is that to Brian that he released the video?
To whoever released it.
So you didn't think that should have been released?
You see, President Kufuor is a big man. His team can easily pick from whoever in the party and summon the person to his house or wherever he finds himself to come. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, you have a call that President Kufuor is calling me. I have to beg you and stop the interview and see him. So he's somebody that we don't joke with. So if he has expressed certain concerns which needs to be redressed, which is not beyond us as a party, and then somebody's responsibility is to give him invitations whenever there are party programs. It's somebody's work. So if the person meant well, see the person who is responsible, talk to the General Secretary that this is what the issue that the former president is raising for us to solve it in-house. Okay. Who think NDC is not having problems?
Okay, so back to that question. They are not going to be around. Kufuor is not be here. Is not going to be here. Former President Akufo-Addo is also not going to be here. What are the chances that their absence could have an effect on what you are doing, this important exercise you are doing here today?
You know, their absence has been well communicated to party members. And I'm told they will be even speaking through technology for all of us to see. I think nowadays, even school lectures, in the olden days, when your lecture time is up, you have to run from your hostel to the lecture hall.
Oh, yeah.
But now they tell you the comfort of your home, sit home, sit behind your laptop, then interact with the lecturer. I think it's a new way we are going to implement it here. Though their presence might be better. But I see in Akan, if you are giving a chief and you are making declaration to the public, you tell them in Akan language that the Swahili are here, meaning that when you are asked to perform a certain duty, either rain or shine, you'll be present. But when you are not capable, when you are incapacitated, definitely you get it. Okay. So I think we are good to go as a party.
All right, so we've just been joined on set by George AEC. He bears the same name with my colleague at the office. He was on set not too long ago. He's a former PRO for NABO. Mr. AEC.
A good friend too.
Yes. Okay. What's your expectation for today? Big day for all of you.
Yes, thank you. Big day because after the last election, this is the first time as a family we are meeting, congregating at a point, and then to take very important amendment decisions. And so I'm excited about it. The unity of the party is our primary preoccupation. The theme is saying rebuilding with our values, to recapture. And so that's very important.
You spoke about unity.
Yes.
That people think the MPP is not united.
No, why not? When there's leadership vacuum, definitely there's going to be simmering tensions, and people are jostling to take over as leaders, and definitely that will create some tension.
It's normal.
Yeah,
so you don't think the party is disunited?
No, we had shock. We were worried that we lost the way we did.
It's a shock.
Yes. 1.7 million votes. It was devastating. You get it. So it disorganized some people. But now we are reorganizing ourselves to accept the reality that it happened. You get it. And what is the way? What path are we going to chart going from? So that's what
are these 56? I've spoken to people already around the 56 motions that are to be considered. You've gone through them.
I'm particular about 3 of them.
Tell me about them. Which ones are the most striking for you?
Yes, the expansion of the polling station executives. That is one thing that I'm excited about. I've been a polling station chairman before. He's been a regional officer. So yes, that's one thing that excites me. And then 2, because the work is at the ground. You get it. And you need more hands to be able to, mobilize people to get them to the polling station for us. And before the election day, to excite the people, to develop interest in the MPP and its policies. So that is very important. I'm excited about that. 2, the amendment proposal of electing every executive officer. You get it? I'm excited about that because he's been executive at that level. And it's true. Sometimes some of the elected officers look down on the appointed officers.
I'm an appointed officer.
It's a fight. You get it? It's a fight. So because somebody feels he spent money in canvassing and
the other person was just handpicked.
You get it? So that is, and it doesn't augur well for the party. You get it? And so if he has a lot, sometimes some people even try to shut them down at a meeting. And so these are things that will be taken away. If I went in, I decided I want to be communications officer, and I go to contest for that, I have even killed with a, with an organizer, with a secretary and co. Then we can make proper inputs for the party. And so I'm excited about that. And the third one, which is the main one that everybody's talking about, the top-down issue. I believe it's a stop-gap measure. It's a stop-gap measure. Because as we speak, there's tension. People feel because of the leadership vacuum, there's tension. The party is always in the news for the wrong reasons and others. So let's do it and take it away. Then we can have the focus to do election from the bottom up. There's no way you can elect the national officer before the polling station chairman. You get it? But it's only for the flag bearership. And so once we deal with that and we know who our leader is, we can take time and decide on who becomes the polling station chairman or executive, who becomes the electoral area coordinator up to the top. You get it? So it's still going to be good about that.
Then the name top down doesn't come in.
Yes.
But
the topmost person is the flag bearer. He's the leader of the party.
But I see,
get it?
When you talk of the party structure,
yes,
from polling station
yes,
to the national office,
yes,
the structure of the party, the presidential candidate comes only when he has been elected.
Okay.
Like Akotia, for instance, as we speak, there are constituency executives. They started with our late brother in the school. But now he's not there. The one who is going to be elected as MP will come and fill the gap. So same as what we're going to do now. The presidential election is quite different from the polling station to the top.
I disagree.
And I imagine this was going to happen in the conference today.
No.
We're going to have these kinds of
that one is not part of the amendment proposal.
Okay.
The top down.
Yes, it's not part of it.
It was not included.
It wasn't included.
You see, the top
why
the top
is
down
the main issue.
is the main issue outside the amendment.
Yes.
The fact is.
That's why I say it's a stopgap measure.
The fact is, it's because the two meetings were held on the same day. Issues, the meeting agenda considering amendments in that same meeting is the meeting that they considered the presidential election. The Article 13 came out of a struggle like this. When police station executives police station delegates were moved from 1 to 5. That same day, early Congress amendment was done. And that brought about Article 13 that if the National Council should decide when presidential candidate elections must be conducted. So it was the National Council who was performing its duties to set up a date. But this constitutional amendment is also part of the party constitutional process. So the two are not the same. But I think the confusion comes because the same day that we discussed this is the same that we discussed the other one.
Today, are we not to approve the 31st?
No.
It's been approved.
No, it's been approved.
Wow.
So you are not as updated as it seems.
No, because I know that is, part of why I'm here.
All right. It turns out it's not going to be part of it.
I've gone through the 56.
National Council has fixed a date, and I thought this Congress is to accept at Congress highest making decision body. But let's see whether it will be tabled for because we have been in meetings that they've said it is not cast in stone. The 31st January. You get it? It's after this because there's officers executive who have said is it the financial examiner? He said it's not cast in stone because it is a proposal, even that date, and Congress must endorse it because National Council is not the highest decision-making body. You get it? So it's a proposition they are putting on the table, and that will be concretized today. You get it? So if they decide that no, let's go back and do all these changes before the flag bearer is elected, that 31st can be cancelled. Okay.
I asked Kufu earlier about the absence of former President Kufu and then Akufo, and what that could, the telling on today's conference. What do you make of their absence here today?
It's unfortunate the two people who led us to taste power in the Fourth Republic are both not in the jurisdiction. There is normal. They will get to us via teleconferencing and all. So I will still see them and hear their voice. It would have been proper if they were here in person. I've seen some of the big guys like Akman Ushajiman who has arrived and others. So they will be representing them. Okay, we would have loved to have them. The other aspect that I felt was not too good for me was the commentary by former President before that. It's like his views are not being factored into happenings in the situation.
Is that not the situation?
I was surprised because he's a pillar in the party.
So you'd have expected he communicated it differently?
Yes, I would have expected that it would have been in-house discussion with the executive committee and the National Council because he has all of them at his beck and call. You get it? And so, but to go on national thing means it's a painful thing that he's one of the reserved people who don't just speak. And so if he said something like that, it means something that is hits him hard and it's come out public. I pray the National Executive Committee and the National Council will take the right steps to ensure that his thinking is factored into whatever decision.
All right, I want to thank you all very much, and I wish you all the best today as you go into the conference. We hope that we'll catch up again, maybe during the day or after everything is done, to see how it's been for you. So I've had Kweku Atasapon, who is the deputy.
After today, we will come out stronger.
Oh, of course, and we're hoping that. So Kweku Atasapon is deputy regional organizer of the MPP in the Ashanti region, and I had George Eyisi, who is a former PRO of NATO on the set. This is still election desk here on GhanaWeb TV. We are bringing you live coverage of the MPP's National Delegates Conference happening at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium here in Accra, where some over 6,000 delegates of the party are here to amend what is supposed to be the MPP's constitution and hopefully, they are hoping that these new 56 amendments or motions that are being tabled would add up to the constitution and make it better. Next on the set will be the Member of Parliament for Asin South, John. So I have the Asin South MP join us briefly again. So this is election desk. The 18th Fojo is joining me on set now.
Listen to our members and our rank and file, our sympathizers, our elders, all of them make some important suggestions. Suggestions that will occasion some changes in the way we do things and even occasion changes in our very constitution. And so the highest decision-making body of the party is conference, and that's why conference is here. One of the things that was so important to the grassroots was that we conduct the presidential primaries first and early. It was so important to them. And what they said overwhelmingly was that we waited and conducted our internal elections within 3 years, from police station, electoral area to region, national. By the time we're done with it and elected our presidential candidates, it was a period of 3 years. So much scratch had been done. We had only 1 year to the main election, so it was not sufficient time to patch up. So that in itself, lessons drawn from them there is where the grounds why our people said that we should this time elect our presidential candidate first. National Council has listened to that. You see, if you are running a party and you don't listen to the sentiment on the ground, you miss the point. So National Council has listened to that sentiment and now decided to conduct the presidential primaries on 31st of January 2026. So this propaganda about top-down is neither here nor there.
You actually think it's the best for the party?
It is exactly what the grassroots suggested, and it is in the best interest. We get it done and over with. Then we come down. The second thing they said was that we should expand our delegate system and make sure that we have the participation of more people in who decides who becomes a constituency officer, who becomes an MP, for instance, and who becomes regional and other officers. And that proposal is one of the key proposals that is going to be considered today. And I am very confident that there will be expansion in the delegate system. The extent to the expansion, there are various shades of suggestions. Some are suggesting that we do one man, one vote. Some are suggesting that we add on about 2 to the police stations and 4 to the electoral area. Some also have other suggestions. Some are also even suggesting that all former executives should be made to be included in the delegates. All these brilliant suggestions, it will be put on the floor and decision will be taken on them. And we are going to leave here today having a good optimum and a prudent expansion that will make our base happy. And that is the most important thing. After that, there are also other specific proposals which will bring changes into the structure of the party. And so if anybody is out there and misrepresenting, how elections are going to take place, and suggesting that because we are taking the presidential primaries first, which is by Article 13 of the Constitution, always separated and different from the rest of the internal elections, the person is only trying to do mischief. So this is in the best interest. See, we have about 8 very important and respected aspirants who want to become presidential candidates. What that means is that we have 8 camps, right from national, regional, constituency, electoral area, and possibly polling station. Okay. If you are going to go into constituting your internal structures with 8 divided fronts, when you go to the police station to conduct elections, there will be a lot of acrimony, because each and every one of the 8 presidential candidates will have interest in who becomes a police station executive in every police station. They would want their people to be there so that they will come and vote for them. That will bring a lot of animosity, a lot of acrimony, a lot of infighting, will destroy the party. The same when it comes to electoral area, when it comes to constituency, there will be about 8 teams, because every presidential camp would want to have their team and will push them and back them to win. And same for region. There will be 8 camps, there will be 8 camps at national, and it's going to be not healthy for us. But the moment we are done with the presidential primaries first, we will have a very united front, because whoever will emerge as a flag bearer will unite all their compatriots and form a unified front. And so in a very peaceful, calm manner, we'll go down to the police stations. The deserving people will put out themselves for election. There will be no mafia, there will be no acrimonies, there will be things to be done in a very healthy way, in a way that will make the grassroots excited, energized, in a way that apathy will be cured. So this is in the best interest of the party, and I know that all our people are in support, except for those who wants to just peddle mischief out.
And there's no need denying, of course, what's happening after the 2024 elections. The MPP lost out massively. You are in Parliament. I know that's even affected how you've operated because of the numbers. You are not as, or that's not the case. Is that not the case in Parliament for you? With the number of colleagues you have on your side as against the other side. And there are also people who say that it seems like the MPP just wants to get back too quickly when people are not ready to welcome them back. But your party says you are rebuilding. Is this what's going to be the starting point to getting back into the hearts of Ghanaians?
Yes, Ghanaians want us to unite ourselves. They want to see a united front. They want to see an alternative party as in opposition that has less rancor, that has, no infighting. They don't want to be hearing negative news about the party every day. Okay. And what will reduce that is to conduct the presidential elections first. Once you have that done, you will have peace. If you drag it on for 2 years, there will be infighting, there will be division, and there will be undesirable news coming out for the next 2 years. And that is what would infuriate or would not make us attractive to Ghanaians. But Ghanaians also know very well that the NDC has deceived them. The NDC has turned their back on all major promises. There's growing hardship in this country, growing insecurity in this country, and the people want a change. You can talk about goodwill and all that, but you see, within that so-called goodwill, all the atrocities that they are committing, Ghanaians are piling them.
What are the atrocities you're talking about?
They will not speak of them to you. They will not speak of them to you. We have that conversation today. I just want to stick to our...
You say there are atrocities.
There are a lot of atrocities.
Just name one of them.
After the conference. I've named several of them even before yesterday.
Well, not on this platform, but just for our viewers.
I don't want to take the shine from our conference. After the conference, actually, let us engage. Okay. We will outline all of them for you. Ghanaians are putting them down. And all that they are putting down at the right time, they will speak it back to them.
I mean,
So,
just
in Parliament,
you're saying this because, and I just want to hold you there for a bit, just because you are talking about this. It's not too early to be rushing a government of 7 months with all these wild claims that there is insecurity and there is what. Is it not too early? 7 months?
So if it is 7 months, and within 7 months, you find tax organized by the incumbent governments unleashed to just 19 police stations, battering everybody they find in the full glare of the police. We are saying because of the 7 months, we shouldn't talk about it. We should allow government tax and party NDC tax to kill everybody, to injure everybody, to harm everybody, and to put the police hands behind them, render the police helpless, and gag them from prosecuting, gag the police from arresting, and Ghanaians should keep quiet until 4 years, until 3 years. So these are things, many other things. But the point I'm making is that many Ghanaians have now seen the colors, the true colors of the NDC they voted for. They probably voted out of anger, but their anger is settling. But if it is settling, we as an opposition party ought to reorganize, ought to restructure, and ought to conduct our internal affairs in a manner that will make us the most attractive. And that is exactly what conference is going to do today. Take decisions reflecting on the sentiments of the grassroots that will make us popular, that will make us more attractive, that will cure apathy, and that will make us desirable for the larger Ghanaian population to choose us in 2028.
What are your expectations after this? And I'm asking this also against the proposals here. You're hoping that all of these will be adopted? All of these 56, you're hoping that all of them will be adopted today?
I leave that decision to conference. Conference is the highest making body. But conference will do what is right. They will do what will kneel to our benefits. They will do what will bring us better strength and better unity. So that is exactly. I know conference will listen to the sentiment of the grassroots. And that is our expectation.
Kufuor is not going to be here. Akufo-Addo is not going to be here. Any telling on what's going to happen here today? Will it affect you in any way?
No, you see, there is really no mischief about that. Our two respected former presidents would have loved to be here. However, circumstances beyond their control have made it unavoidably not possible for them to be here. We had also far advanced in our preparations. And so a high-level envoy have been dispatched, they have engaged our former presidents, and there's that understanding. They are supporting us in spirit. They are fully behind us. They are fully accepted this conference. They will deliver their messages in any appropriate means. It will be done. And so even though they are not here in person, they are here with us in the spirit. And they support everything that's going to go on today.
All right, very finally, people say this party is in a difficult place. Do you agree?
Of course, we are in a difficult place. A difficult place because we've never seen any time when an incumbent government had to insensitively exert political persecution on opposition in the manner we are seeing. You know, former ministers, former appointees who have done no wrong on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis. Our houses are stormed. When they stormed my house, what wrong had I done? What had I committed? When they stormed the house of Honorable former Minister for Finance, the former Chief Governor, former Governor of the Bank of Ghana, when they're taking people to Yoko on a daily basis, they're inviting people behind the scenes to NIB, gagging them, and there's really no wrong really. So we're in a difficult place, but we have done no wrong. But they are persecuting us. It is a political tyranny, and God will get us out of here. We will get out of it. We are in a difficult place because we have come to a point where under NDC, political vigilantism is emerging as a national security threat. And if care is not taken, NDC want to drag this country to a point like they demonstrated in 2024, where when MPP decided to do civil democracy and civil elections, they decided that they use violence to declare seats for themselves. And if we do not stop that, in these difficult times we find ourselves as a country, not only NPP, but the country also find ourselves in a difficult place in our democracy. Our democracy is in a difficult position at the moment, where NDC is able to organize tax, and it's not about the number of times that voted. They'll go and declare for themselves.
Yeah, sorry, we're not a talk for radio talk.
Our candidates want to declare free one.
Yes, sir.
The court gave an order, is to go and declare.
Martin.
They said no.
Martin.
They use violence
Martin.
to whisk it away from us.
Martin.
We don't want a
Martin.
situation, this situation rather undesirable to fester. We have to do everything it takes to overturn it and recapture power in 2028. To give Ghana the kind of governance and democracy we sign up for.
Very, very finally, and because you are here, what's the update on the case with what happened at your house and all of those things? What's the update?
Also, the cocaine they brought in and money laundering things.
Oh, they brought cocaine?
That we talked about.
They brought cocaine?
They failed to investigate.
Did you say they brought cocaine?
chose to storm my house. And when the objective thinking members of NDC even blasted them, spoke and condemned those acts. I met the NIB. They came to Parliament and we met. And I called for commission of inquiry because if they had honored my invitation, which I wrote to them a day after the press conference, availing myself for them to come and meet me to give them whatever I had, they would have done the investigation. Right? They said no. They gagged the security institutions from doing their job. They went on for political propaganda. They saw themselves in the foot. I used further evidence to debunk all the lies Patriofosu put out. And now, any evidence I give them, they will twist it politically and rubbish it. So we have called for commission of inquiry. In the full glare of the country, everybody will follow everything that happened, and you will know that we are not in normal times. But even that signal is bringing some changes. Now, things will not just be done the way they used to be. They know eyes are watching, and they know some of us are watching. And so things will be done differently going forward, hopefully.
All right, thank you very much. Member of Parliament for Asin South. And that's Reverend Johnny Tim Fojo is Member of Parliament for Asin South, who has been on our set. He's actually told us a number of things. I think that chief among the things he's mentioned is the conversation around whether or not the party should have its flag bearer race done first before any other thing, and he believes that is the right thing to do. Next on our set is Isaac Obeng. Isaac Obeng is a communication member of the MPP. Welcome to GhanaWeb TV. Thank you very much. I'm very well. How are things going for you? How's your communication like?
By God's grace, everything is fine.
A party in opposition now. How are you communicating to your grassroots that all is well? How are you doing all of that?
We've been there before. I started communication going back whilst in opposition in 2008 to 2016. So this is not the first time communicating for the party. The reality is that yes, we've lost. We need to accept that fact and speak truth to ourselves. Look at where the lapses were and try as much as possible to correct them and apologize and do the right thing. And I'm sure that this National Delegates Conference is one of the processes that we need to go through to make sure that we amend our ways, get the party back, and be able to take power from the NDC come 2028. So that is the same, that is what we are doing now.
Okay, so across, we hear people talk about we've accepted, we've apologized, but there are also a number of people who say that the apology is not enough and that all of the things the MPP is doing again is just to get back into the hearts of Ghanaians to again come back to power and maybe do even worse. What do you say to that?
So if people are complaining that apology is not enough, I think that yes, I agree, we need to go beyond apology. So when you take me for instance, and most of the party people, apart from the media engagement that we do to speak for the party, we are on the ground. We speak to them. We are the marketplaces. We are the structural places. And the most important thing, if you want to really show remorse, is to be with them, listen to their plight, be able to factor all these things, and show deeds that indeed you are changed. So that is what we are doing. For them to say that when they are done, the focus is to win power and come back. I believe that over the 6 months, 7 months, of the NDC now, it's clearly informed us that whatever thing that they've done or whatever thing that they said in power was basically settings or scam or their traits of propaganda. That is what they did, for which reason they find themselves in power now. So gradually the NPP are being vindicated by the policies that we came with, by the ideas that we came with, by the vision that we came with. Because the NDCs have now gone back to steal most of the policies that we did. Take for instance the drone service. What didn't the NDC say about it? Honorable Sam George, what did he make about it? But recently there are pictures, videos that shows how excited he is to see the drone services save lives. These are clear intentions. What did they tell us about taxes and imposition of taxes and the expansion of taxes? But today, we have the finance minister bringing to bear a doomsday tax, which is affecting the ordinary Ghanaians. So Ghanaians are bearing and are seeing the deceit in the NDC, so far as what they promised them are concerned. And that is why they remain truthful to MPP. That is why they feel that yes, when we are united, when we are focused in our purpose and we come together, we may be given the opportunity, and inshallah, God will bless us for us to get power.
Okay. Okay, the chair just joined us on
No.
So we're just going to have welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So that's okay, Teche, every 5 minutes. You have just joined us. I was asking a few things about how the party wants to regroup and all that. First of all, what are your impressions of today's conference? What are the outcomes that you are looking forward to today?
I'm looking for a new party. A party that has a renewed spirit. A party that has refreshed itself. A party that looks in the face of themselves and tell themselves the truth. And not a charade. Whatever conversation we are going to have here today should be conversations that in our own conscience, in our honesty, will reform and rebuild. As we said, rebuild them, but we cannot rebuild on untruth and dishonesty. We have to rebuild on truth and honesty. So whatever conversation, the bottom line is that whatever reforms that the leaders of our party have proposed the people have proposed through the leaders, are reforms that are going to inure to the benefit of the party and not any one single individual or group. That is what we are expecting. We are expecting that by the time we are done with today, the MPP members, the family of MPP will be united. The family of MPP will have a new energy that will rekindle the spirit on which our forebears built our family. The forebears of Victor Usu, Aram Ponsa, Jato Kalio, SG Anto, Dampa Dombo Buzia, whatever spirit in which they formed our tradition, that is the UP tradition, today should be a day to remind us that we fought for the party to be able to come up with policies that will inure to the benefit of the larger masses, that will serve the dignity, that will serve the purpose for the masses, and not the selected few. So that is what basically I'm looking for.
There are 56 proposals or reviewed proposals that the party is going to consider today. Are those going to be enough to put the party back on track towards 2028 and, as you say, rebuild?
We will allow the waves of the sea to direct us to the shore. Nobody sets out on a journey and has an idea how the end will be. In every policy decision making, you first make proposals, then you will come back at some point and evaluate the proposals you've made. So we are going to work with the 56 for now. But as we move on, there is nothing static. Life is an evolution process for which we have to come back and say that though we propose this and that, this has worked to the full benefit of the people. This must be amended. I'm sure it's a process and not an event. So yes, let's deal with this. I am happy that to a larger extent, we are going to allow the grassroots of our party to own the party and now select their leaders and not be imposed upon people that they cannot relate with. If we say that politics is local, then we should allow the local people to choose who reflect their identity, to choose who best understands them, and not sit in the comfort of our offices, not sit in the comfort of our homes, and say that in our ideas, in our minds, we think A, B, or C can lead the people and can do better for the people. So if now we are making reforms, although we would have wished that they give every card-bearing member of the party the voting right to be able to decide. But like I said, in every reforms, you have to go a step by step so you can actually guide it towards a proper success. So for now, let's deal with that.
Isaac, again, you communicate for the party. All these motions, these reforms that we are looking at, what's your most striking? What excites you the most from this?
All right, so I've seen my senior brother here. I've been on the show. He has really mentored some of us. Okay. So it's a pleasure to have him seated by me to communicate. So one of the key things I'm looking forward to is how we expand our college. Because when you go into the party, both at the police station level, electoral area, constituency level, there are issues that came up, and there are a lot of people that wants to feel part of the party. So when you look at the proposal, there are proposals that the police station level, we need to increase it. There are proposals that at the electoral area level, we need to increase it. Initially, it was only the coordinator. Now we need to have a committee of 5 managing the affairs of the electoral area. Aside that, when you come to the constituency level, there are inputs that the communication officer needs to be elected, which I agree because I'm a constituency person. I know what it takes to have a communication officer being elected, the power the Constitution gives to him to be able to perform. Not that alone, the elections and research officer. There is a proposal that we need to separate them so that they can perform their individual. In this day of science and data, you need your research person to be independent to be able to perform the data. And all these things are trickling down to the police station level. So for me, this is the grassroots Okataji talked about. These are the things that I believe that will guard the party and grant us victory come 2028. So that is one of the things that touch my heart. And I believe that, and I call on the people that are here, that we should be able to approve it when the motion is put before us.
All right. Okay, Techi, just finally, because we are going to switch to the main event now. 2024 was a big statement to the MPP. Do you think that this is where you're going to start to getting back to being the most attractive again for Ghanaians? Is this where the starting point is?
I think it started from the day that we lost the election. The grieving process of the people are still part of the processes for the party to regain its power. So the very day we lost the election, how the people felt is a natural instinct of human life. That is what brought about some sober reflections for which we have now decided that we are going to make some amendments and proposals. So today is not where it starts. It started the very day that we got humiliated at the 2024 election. Now, just as I said, in rebuilding of our party, in recapturing power, it is not an event, it's a process. Now, what we have to understand as a party is that the demography of the Ghanaian population has changed. So we cannot win the hearts of the youth with the same old strategies of wearing suit and tie, sitting in boardrooms and making decisions for the larger society. So today, just as I said, is also a continuation of the conversations that we began in our homes, in our offices, about how we can make sure that our party regain the energy, the love of the people. And so far, I'm sure you've seen the enthusiasm that these people have come to this field with. We are hoping that as we progress, it will be much more, it will go a notch higher, by day, by day, by day. And as a people, we are going to be honest with ourselves and be tactful in regaining the love of the people. And that's what we started. We are going to continue to the last day of the next election. Okay,
I've been asking everyone who's come on the set about the absence of former presidents, John Ejekun Kufuor as well as Nana Akufo-Addo. Is that not going to in any way, I'm talking about their physical presence, have a telling, an effect on the exercise, this important exercise they are going to do here today?
So, in 3 years, ne womako ne mono na ebenanga say awotwe ankwa ne womako awotwe efru fantimam wo penkrata atwo na fe ye pa awotwe amana be kan de nkrata ni bia ye duru bedwam awotwe no ama ne ase ne woma no emu famra. So by and large Omampani Kufuor has paid his dues to the tradition of the UP. President Akufo-Addo has paid his dues to the tradition of the UP. I think it's our time for the youth of our party to contribute our quota to the development of the tradition for which they have sacrificed a greater part of their lives for. Although they may not be physically present, but we believe in our hearts of hearts that our forebears, like President Kufuor and Nana Akufo-Addo, any day, any time are with us, whether physically present or not. So yes, we would have wished that their presence will be felt on the grounds, like you and I do. President Kufuor, of course, is old. So it's not even advisable that in this age, an era where we have pandemic and all that, it's not even advisable that he will be here. If he chose to be here, we would have been happy and would have been grateful. But we will be more happier that the good Lord will save him, keep him safe, just so whenever we need advice on how to move forward, we can move to him and get proper advice. So Omabeli Kufuor is my very own father and my son in tradition. So I would have wished to see him, but he's contributed his quota, he's done well. What he needs is some rest for now, just so we will go to him for proper advice, and the youth will use the energy to carry on the torch and the legacy that he lighted.
Isaac, you same question. What do you make of the absence?
Just as my senior brother said, yes, their presence would have added some color and some euphoria to it. However, they paid their due. And we strongly believe that it is time for the youth. Their absence does not mean that their spirit and their intents are not with us. They are with us. So we have also seen other great personalities that are here. It shows that the party is together. The party is looking at one purpose, unity. And so far as God grants them life, which we pray for long life, what we expect them to do is to continue to nurture us whilst we take the mantle up as leaders, as youth, and continue to build on the tradition that they've laid their blood, they've sacrificed, and they've carried to this far. And that is what we are ready to do. We are also expecting in this era, you'll be shocked that probably in this era of digitalization, their message will come. Yes, will come. So for us, we are resolved. It doesn't mar anything in this process. The processes are going to go through. The reform are going to go through. The unity we are all seeking are going to go through. We are going to take to power. We are going to tell ourselves the honest truth. And at the end of the day, Ghanaians are waiting for us. Go through the length and breadth of Ghana. Everybody is on this national delegates conference that we are organizing because they want us to come out stronger and take power and deliver on the social interventions that we've been doing, which has helped the country, which has brought us this far. And we are resolved in doing that.
All right. Thank you very much. Isaac Obin is a National Communications Officer.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I am without portfolio.
Okay, J.K. Fifa is also been with us. And so this is our continuous coverage of the MPP's National Delegates Conference that is happening here at the Stadium. I've had quite a number of people on our set this morning. But what we're trying to do is also bring you all of the thoughts of the people who are gathering here. There are over 6,000 delegates who are expected to gather in this very venue on this field at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium for this important exercise of the opposition political party, that's the New Patriotic Party. And so we're hoping that by the end of the day, as many of them have said, the adoption of all of these proposals into the MPP's constitution would help and also possibly put them on track to being another political party that's attractive, especially for the 2028 elections. George, I was without you for a while, but I mean, I'm sure you followed the conversations. What did you make of all of those, and what's to expect from here? We're done with a few of the interviews. I can hear the sounds blasting from outside here. What's to expect from here?
The expectations is like we've all come to understand is obviously on the amendments and the proposals, how the party people are going to receive it, how they perceive all of this is either going to help the party or not, and how they are going to take it. Of course, like we have emphasized from the beginning, the defeat from 2024 means that the NPP needs to take some drastic measures, and as to whether these drastic measures are what is necessary in the wisdom of the leadership of the party, it is. And if you look at the committee, the Constitution Amendment Committee, we have individuals like
Kojo Ponkuma,
Leonard
Frank
lawyer,
Davis.
Frank Davis, who actually led the team, and Honorable Patricia P.A.J. Then there's Diana Snabadapa. She was actually the deputy attorney general in the recent government which left power. Then you also have Mr. McCaffrey Wanya, you have Dr. Antoinette Seboda, and then Dr. Efua Amwa, who is a medical practitioner as well. So these are people, and like you mentioned before, these are people who have actually taken into consideration input from the grassroots of the party to actually draft some of these amendments. And so this is what we expect to see happen today in terms of what will be accepted or what will be refused. Some of these amendments date as far back as 2016 masses, when the party actually went to the masses of the National Delegates Conference. This is where some of these proposals came about, and so we are still waiting to see how the event is. As a matter of fact, the event will actually start with some speeches and addresses. Of course, we expect some party officials, including the national chairman, currently the acting, was the current chairman has been disclosed for a while now. His family actually says he has to take out.
All right, John, let me just hold it for a minute because we'll be joined by Ellen Amada, who is also a national. She's a communications member of the New Patriotic Party. So we want to just have a conversation with her. At least this morning we've not had any woman on set, and I want her to join us now. Ellen is joining us on set now, so that we have a conversation.
Your chair is a bit higher. All right.
Ellen, welcome to our set.
Yeah. Good morning.
How have you been?
I'm exhausted, but what can I do? It's part of the job.
I think the exhaustion means that we're alive and we're moving. So it's good to have you here. You're the first woman on our set today, and I'm glad that at least I finally have a woman on set. Tell me, first of all, what do you make of this conference that the party is holding today here?
Well, I believe it's a good move. We needed to come together as one big group and one big family. I think it's the very first big gathering of the party with our delegates since we lost the 2024 election 7 months ago. So it's a good thing that we are here. So far, I believe things are going well. Of course, we still have a few hours to go. So hopefully everything will go on well. And as a party, we'll do what we have to do and start the rebuilding process, getting ready for election 2028.
All right. So over 300 proposals were sent in. They've been struck down to 56.
Yes.
What do you make of the 56 that are captured in this booklet?
There are three that have taken my fancy, and I hope that they go through. The first one is the expansion of the electoral college to allow some of our former executives, our former MCs, our former MPs, former regional constituency polling station executives to also come back into the fold of the party and help out. That's one thing that I think we needed to do. And it's a process. We are gradually moving to the stage where it will be one man, one vote. Every card-bearing member of the party will be able to vote. We are moving into the...
That would be massive, eh?
Yes, we are trying. Because we started off, years ago when we started off with this, it was only regional chairmen who could vote. And then over the years, we have expanded. So I'm hoping that we get there. So it's another step in the right direction. I'm hoping that the delegates agree to it. The second one that I'm also hoping they pass is the election of all our communication directors across board, all the way from the polling station to the national. I believe that people who want to speak for the party and are faces of the party should be voted for by the members of the party. So I think that's one thing that I'm hoping to go through. I'm no more 35, I'm hitting 43, but I also believe that the youth should be properly defined, and so the proposal that the youth organizer, national youth organizer position, all the way to the polling station should be capped at 35 years. I believe it's also good, so that we get a lot more young people into the work. When you are about 35, you should get into the main party work. You're matured enough to be a national organizer, to be a national women's organizer. Get into the work. Leave the young people to also get ready and get themselves ready. If you've been in this party for as long as some of us have been in, I joined when I was on campus, on the University of Ghana campus in 2002. I joined TESCON. That was when TESCON had just been started.
Okay.
And so I've gone through the process. I believe that it's time that people like me and my younger brothers who are a few years younger and above 35 should move into the main fray of the party and start holding party positions that will move. Our elders are growing old. They are retiring, and it is our time to move on. So I don't see why at 40 years you want to be a youth organizer. Move on. Go and find other
George has
positions.
some questions for you.
Let's talk affirmative action.
Yes.
What we call good with the NDC implement. I see some proposals on the women's front as well. Would you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I've seen it briefly. I haven't really read. Which one is it?
What they are seeking to do is now
Motion what?
It's around 50 something.
The understanding is that
Let me just find it for you.
election of the national women organizer, currently it is the constituency women organizer who come together to do this election. But the proposal is to expand it to include all women delegates.
Yes. 3 years ago, I stood for National Women's Organizer. And one of the challenges I faced when I stood was the fact that the electoral college for the National Women's Organizer is so small. It consists of the constituency women organizers and their deputies, regional women organizers and their deputies, TESCON WUCOMs around all the country, and then I think a few party female elders, a female MMDCs, a few female ministers who are party members. So for me, I think this is one of the best that can do. That all female delegates, it doesn't matter whether the person is a secretary, whether the person is an organizer, is a youth organizer. So far as the person is female, should vote for the National Women's Organizer. You know, at our regional levels, they vote. In fact, at the regional levels, all delegates vote for the women organizer. So I don't see why when we come, regional and constituency, all delegates. But when we come to the national, then we want to limit it to a few groups of people. I'm hoping that is also passed to give more women the opportunity to go. I am not running for elections this year. I am more concentrated on my candidates. We'll discuss that later. Today is not about my presidential candidate. So I'm going to work in my candidate's campaign. Perhaps in the next few years, I'm still young. I can always come back and compete for another position. But I'm hoping it is done. It makes the work easier and it makes the work of organizing our females in this party a bit more easy.
While today you'll be excused from talking about the candidates, maybe we can talk about the proposal that affects your candidate. Top down, up, top bottom.
The MPP doesn't have any top down or top bottom approach. What we do have is that we elect constituency executives, we elect regional executives, polling station executives for a period of 4 years. Within that period of 4 years, any elections that the party holds, whether it is for presidential, whatever it is these delegates who are supposed to vote. How would you think the party would go on if we suddenly decide that because we want to reorganize the party, delegates who have been voted for 4 years, we want to truncate their term? I mean, the court actions that we're going to face will not hold. But the party also, the NEC, has the responsibility of choosing a flag bearer at any time that they feel that we need a flag bearer now. With current ongoings, NEC and most of us in the party, hopefully, thought that it is best we choose a flag bearer now, so that we have a leader. If you have gone back into the history of the MPP, anytime there's vacancy at the flag bearer position, a lot of competition goes on, and that is us. I mean, we are a party of competition. We elect, we will compete right down to the bottom. So we should get a leader, make sure that all the noise goes down. There's a leader in place for us in the position, and when we work. But you cannot say that the delegates should go home. So there's no top-down approach. Their term of office is not over yet. The current police stations, their term of office will be over in March. Constituency, somewhere in April. Region, somewhere in May, June. National, July. We cannot wait for 6 months with this sort of competition that is going on. by the time we are done, our party will be over and done with. So as for the flag bearer, picking a flag bearer, I believe is one of the smartest decisions that our NEC has chosen. And I'm for it. This is not top-down approach. This is moving with the times. This is making sure that your party stands strong. And that's what we are going to do. Hopefully my candidate will win. But it's a competition. If he doesn't win, we'll join hands with whoever has won. And as a party, we'll move forward. Because we need to present a very credible opposition for the NDC.
There's this question about whether or not the party could have actually moved this date for the conference forward because of the absence of former presidents Kufuor and then Akufo-Addo.
Yes, they did bring in a proposal. And from what I hear, at the time the proposal came in, or the request, it's not a proposal, a request came in, we had already done the logistics. We have already paid for this venue. We had already done everything that we had done. If they had brought it a bit earlier, I'm sure the party would have looked at it. But changing the dates again, you know how it costs to organize programs like this. So they did apologize to them and told them that this is our first conference. We're going to have other ones. We'll make sure that they are there. But for now, remember we are in opposition. We are still trying to put ourselves together. We cannot go and pay for things and then send it back again. So our apologies were sent to them, and I know they also understand. I mean, they know what's up. So I don't
but
think
there are people who are misinterpreting, if I could use that term, that this is because the two former heads of state are not happy with certain things.
They haven't told anybody. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is a very vocal man. He's a man who knows his onions. If His Excellency is not happy about something, he'll say it. He doesn't have to inform anybody or send it through gossip. His Excellency John Ajagun Kufuor, when he said that he was not consulted on a few things, we quickly went to apologize. He said it. I mean, he's not afraid of anybody. So if they are not happy with something, I'm sure they'll tell us, and they'll tell us. We don't need anybody to come and tell us. Those are men who have been presidents of this country. I don't think they fear anybody not to speak.
There was an attempt to hold on everything that we have.
Was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Court action that was filed.
Was it served on anybody? Okay. Then, since we are having the program, it's obvious that assembly didn't win.
What does it say?
It doesn't say anything. It's a democratic party. If you are not happy with something, you are allowed to go to court. But they too, I don't understand them. You knew, we have all known for quite some time that this program was going to come on. Then you wait how many hours? 48 hours to the program, you start making noise. Of course, it will not work. They could have done this induction 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They didn't. So let's move on. Everybody has a right to go to court. But whether your court action will hold, that's also another matter.
All right. George, you have anything else?
I mean, once we have the NDP, we have to talk a little bit about the NDC and their performance so far.
Right now, today, I am not talking about the NDC. I'll talk about the NDC on Monday. I have a few conversations. The Minister for Government Communications have brought up something on the National Cathedral. The National Cathedral Secretariat, National Cathedral Board of Trustees have also brought a reply. Today is about the NPP, it's not about them. We'll discuss that from Monday. We have a few conversations, we'll do that from Monday.
There are over 6,000 delegates. How many women? I don't know if you are aware, how many women are going to participate? You're a woman, so.
I have no idea, but I know that at least 1/3 will be women, because we have women organizers, we have all manner of what. So there are quite a number of women there. I'm also here, a lot of us are here.
My very final question is the question about whether the NPP still remains attractive, or whether or not they will come out of this stronger because of the rumors that there could be some divisions within the party.
Well, every party goes through it. I mean, that's why we are a democracy. We'll go through it, we'll come out stronger. And as I said, whoever wins will all come together. And then we'll go. Remember, this is not the first time we are coming into opposition. Before the 1992 Constitution was publicized, and we started the, the fourth constitutional matter. We had been in opposition for 30 years. Through coup d'etats, through all manner of things, we survived. So this one, a 4-year opposition, I don't think will do any harm to us. It rather gives us the opportunity to put ourselves together and come back stronger. As for the attractive, the NPP remains the most attractive political party. And we are going to use this 4 years in opposition to prove to Ghanaians why they loved us in the first place and why that love should come back. Yes, we made mistakes, I agree. Things were not so easy in the last administration. There were internal issues, there were external issues. Ghanaians have access to come home and come and work. So we are going to work and we'll come back stronger.
All right. Thank you very much. This is Ellen Amada. Thank you very much. Communications member of the New Patriotic Party who was joining us here. She's the first woman who actually joined us on set. She's hopeful that this party will bring them to a place of strength where they would all get back on track to doing what they believe is the best for Ghanaians and also be attractive enough. George, so Ellen there, we're
Chairman
being joined on
Kojo
set also
from
by
Niger North.
another person. But
Someone in Eastern
we
region.
have our guests join us. George, first of all, I asked earlier about the women representation, and you're welcome.
Thank
to our
you, Chief.
set. Our women representation, what do you think? Are the women, especially because of the affirmative conversations we'll be having, I asked and she mentioned 1/3. Is that something that gives you the impression that is convincing enough for the party? All right. Kojo Boate is the chairman of the MPP in Niger and North. You have traveled far to Accra. This is the MPP's conference. Why have you left everything else to come here today?
Well, first of all, let me do a small correction. I resided in Accra,
Okay.
but I'm minding the business in
Okay.
North Eastern region.
All right.
But I mean, not withhold, whatever the reason is, if I'm still there, I will still come. Because it's the fraternity which has brought us here today to discuss the importance of the reorganization and the rebuild of the party, which is the most important for the party's future. So in all, my brother, I think that is more reason why we are here. Okay. The fundamentals that needs to highlight to making sure that going forward with our next elections, the next 3 years elections, the party will be on its grounds and understanding the issues very well with our delegates and our core supporters and our core members, and also to rejuvenate the party on the ground, which is very key to all of us. So and being here today is not just maybe we are just coming to do the fanfare. We are here to reaffirm some modalities that we needed to change and bring the party to power in the year 2028.
Why is the MPP talking about rebuilding? Are there cracks in the party?
I mean, in every organization, if you realize the strength of the organization is going down, you still need to re-strategize. And as soon as, you see, sometimes I don't know to use the word, whether it's the verbiage, it's the English word, and I know you really understand English very well. So for somebody can say reorganization, rebuild, re-strategize, it all in summation, it all comes to where you are. You think there's a little challenge
that we need to sit up and let whatever causes you at a certain time and a certain hours and a certain era, you need to. It is more like a marketing. And what you have to realize is that we form political party to win power. We didn't form political party just reorganization and come and sit here and drink tea with you. So the essence of it is at a certain time you have participated in elections and you lost. Huge. The defeat was something you cannot imagine. Your next point, if you still want to stay in the arena, your next point is to making sure how you re-strategize. So I don't know whether you want me to use the word re-strategize or rebuild or reorganize, because we are organization. But the most important is to win power. And how do you win power as a political party? We lost the elections. We must accept that defeat. And what causes your defeat? And that will help you to sit or stand up from your ground and then move forward with your next participation of the elections. So in every sector, because it's organization, you also have rules and regulations. So if you want to amend the rules and the organization, you still need to bring your people together for them to also agree in principle the things that you think it causes your defeat. Yeah.
The MPP has been talking about getting back into political power. It's one of the things the party has spoken about for so long, since the elections in December 2024. Why is it so important to get back into political power if the message seems to have been clear from December 2024? Why the whole campaign to return to power, and everybody is talking about 2028? What's happening?
Well, number one, you need to have one core agenda. Your core agenda is to form the organization, is to win power. We are not just, we want to just to be friends, getting from our home and come and drink tea and go our way. Our sole aim of everybody who has a good heart, who decided that this organization I want to be, the objective in front of us is to win power. So my brother, no matter how level you are on the ground, you still have some empathy, you still have some love, you still have some ambition to say one day I will still win power. And no matter where you are, you have to work. No matter where you are, you have to start reorganizing and strategize. Like I said, it's about the marketing. No matter what product I have in my hands, my dream and my hope is to making sure that one day I will lead the whatever product that I have in the country. You understand? It's like somebody selling the water. Today, it doesn't take anything away from you sitting here and saying, I want to open a water company. Your dream, number one, is to take over Belapa, because that is the biggest water company in the market, right? But that is what your target is. Your target will not be those are establishing now. So that is the essence of it, that will come to power. You see, I keep telling a lot of my friends, maybe if we did not go to parliament, if we don't have one representation in parliament, our still dream is to win power. In the year 2000, we were not in parliament, but we decided that we work hard and come back to power. We work in the 8 years in that era, we want power back. So no matter what, that has to be our focus and the direction. And whatever it will bring us down, we need to making sure we can stand up to it. We can work together as friends and family. Between me and you, we don't know our families. We don't know where we are coming from. But we have some law in a certain callous to say that we'll be in this organization. That is what is going to drive us. And then we're beginning to share ideas how we stand tall. So I think that is the essence of it. That's the essence.
So there are proposed amendments in this, that there are some 56 of them. George, you have questions about that?
The proposed amendments take care of all the facets of the party, from the national down to the police station level. There is a specific provision on managing discipline. Managing discipline at the regional and the constituency level. So the current structure says that when there is a disciplinary action against the executive at the constituency level, he has his own are the
committee.
yes, sharing over this. So the proposed amendment is to have it so you have people at the regional level taking care of disciplinary issues affecting those at the constituency, and then you have those at the national taking care of those at the regional level. Honorable, you be at the constituency level. How do you think that this proposal is going to benefit your operations or otherwise?
I think they are just reaffirming it. If you take our old constitution, it was there. But because the way sometimes they handle it from the constituency level, how they issue some of the discipline actions against some of the members. That is why maybe they are now reaffirming it, bringing it to the public domain, that there is a disciplinary action committee in the constituency which we need to apply. I've suspended a lot of people in my constituency, send them to the discipline committee to take action. Sometimes when the discipline committee decisions are not okay for us, or the person can elevate it to the region, and the region will still sit on it to vary the decision from the constituency. The same as national.
Now, what the proposal is seeking to do is that it is going to take that power away from you, so that you, when you at the constituency level, they say you as the chairman cannot take disciplinary actions against your secretary. It is both at the regional level that can do that. I believe the reason behind it is fairness.
Well, I think they just want to show some coordination. So number one, if you, the chairman in the constituency, have issues with your secretary, things that he has done, that is not in conformity of the constitution pertaining in the party, including the constituencies, then you're supposed to write to the region, and then the region will call both of you, and then hear the case, and then take the necessary actions or bring in their so that there will not show any biases in the decision that the outcome will be. So for me, I don't have too much issues on those things. But you see, the core actions is what we have to look at. Discipline is one of them, but if the people understand the party philosophy, the party's agenda, if you want to teach your fellow organizational member how your organizational rules and regulations are, at the end of the day, it will be minimal to see them flatten the roof. You understand what I'm saying? So it is very, very important also not just to leave the people agile. Just allow them, when you have executives, and I keep saying this thing all the time, when you elect executives, let's begin to give them orientations. The orientations of the organizations, the organizational rules, the organizational agenda. At the end, what are we standing for? So if I understand the philosophical agenda of the party rules, the party constitution, chief, sometimes it is not easy for them to flatten the rules. But I can bet you, maybe this time we are going to do that. That is why we established this, the new mentorship programs and all those things. And when we open the institute for the party, making sure at the end of the day we'll be able to educate our people, our main political rules and the regulations, which is very key. Otherwise, we will punish people anyhow. They don't understand how they are flattening the rules.
You have stressed the need to orient party members about the history of the party, and I believe that is very important because if you don't know your history, you are nothing. Now you have one of our party stalwarts, family of one of our party stalwarts, complaining about the removal of their family member from they are complaining that probably they were left out in the organization of this party. I'm talking about former Attorney General. His family member, in telling the NPP story, he is being left out. How important is it that as a party, when you are telling the story, you complete the individual contributions of all these to your history?
I think it's very important because, like you just said, it is not everybody who can rise up to that occasion to becoming a flag bearer of your party. So it is one thing, I 100% agree with the family that Victor Usu one time was a flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party. So at any point of going forward, all these personalities needed to be recognized because they have a certain role they have played. Not just because they never become president or a vice president or national chairman doesn't mean they are not part of the organization. So I am 100%, and for wherever the lapses is, I can apologize to the family. And I wish going forward, since we are all part of those things, we'll be able to reach a certain level. We'll bring this to the fore.
Is this going to be the starting point of this party becoming more attractive again to Ghanaians?
Well, the key word, the attractiveness needed to go down to especially the youth, because they have not really witnessed their party's philosophy. They have never witnessed some party leadership before. They have not been portrayed to anybody. So the attractiveness is where the organization today, where we are, and looking at what the world is going, the trend of the world is where the party also needs to position themselves so that it can be attractive, especially to the youth. That is why we decided to change the age composition to fit the United Nations and then the composition of the Ghanaian youth age. Like from the age of 18 to 35, the youth must pay attention where this organization is going. So that is why the attractiveness, and it also boils to we the leadership. What do we do that will be attractive to the other people? That is the key. And it is also based upon your agenda and your constitution and your programs that you lay out every day. Otherwise, you will not be attractive. Today, even eating has gone to the certain level that social media, I keep telling my mother, I say Chobwa has broadened their horizon. Okay? When we were kids, we would say restaurants, we say Chobwa. But now, since Chobwa broadened their horizon, they have gone to the level of restaurants. So when you are sitting with somebody, oh, is there any restaurant around? Oh, so you're tofu for me, you understand? But when we were young, about 32, 35 years ago, my old man was you understand? So the youth, because of a certain level of education, they are broadening their horizon. Things are going to viral. What are you doing? What is more attractiveness? Who is speaking for them? What hope are they going to get? For them coming from colleges and universities and the secondary schools, thinking that this is the organization we can bet our life with. They can help our motherland Ghana. So I think every day we need to find a certain decorum, a certain path to rethinking, to re-strategize how we can be attractive to the people and the youth.
What would be your biggest take home? I mean, at the end of today's exercise, what would you want to leave here with, knowing that what you had intended has been achieved by the time we're done?
The most key and the most important, to amend the delegates or how the selection of the delegates to lead from number one, the presidential, the MPship, then going to the constituency, national, and all those things. The most important is what happens to us in the year 2020 and the year 2024 is the biggest lesson for us, because this is a political party. At any point in time, our members can send you home and go and rethink of yourself and come back again, because your opponent, NDC, never care whoever leaves, whatever happened to them, and whatever is going on. Once he's a member of NDC, everything is about the NDC. But this political party of MPP, if you make your organization angry, if your people are not happy with you, they will take you off. We lost the elections not just because Ghanaians rejected us. We lost the elections because the MPP themselves MPP themselves voted against themselves. So that is, so I believe that today's conference is something that is bringing us together. When I saw the crowd from outside, and I realized that no, that this party is not collapsed. At the end, the party somehow a future that we all need to come together. We need to be united and focus on our agenda and things that has caused us. We'll be able to make some dynamic change in it. Yeah.
All right, Kojo Boateng, thank you very much, Chairman of
New
Joabin North. Yes. Of the MPP, also here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, where the party is holding its National Delegates Conference 2025. It's an event where over 6,000 delegates of the party are gathering here to ensure that they amend the party's constitution on the road to rebuilding towards election 2028. And as we mentioned earlier, unfortunately, we will not have the physical presence of the party's two former presidents. The only presidents we've had in the Fourth Republic from the New Patriotic Party, that's former President John Ejekwu Kufuor, as well as former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who will not be here with us, but by the blessing of technology, they'll be joining us, George.
If you help anything, I think one thing that is guaranteed is the presence of the former vice president.
Yes, who is going to be around?
Definitely. Okay. And of course, all the other people who have actually expressed interest in the fact that of the party are not any of them all these people who are definitely here.
We'll make up for all of that. And let's acknowledge our next guest. This is Eric Intri-Mensah. He is National Communications Member and also spokesperson for Kennedy in Japan. Actually, you're one of. Sorry.
One of the spokespersons.
You are one of the spokespersons.
My
that's
boss
okay.
is there.
Is your boss around?
Yeah, Chris Patton is around.
Oh, okay. So how are things going for you? You've come in today. From what you've seen from outside, inside here, how do you feel about all of the things that you've seen so far?
So far, so very good. I can say it's been well organized. One thing that I'm very, very, very much impressed with is the security system in place. At least.
It is a big talking point for the MPP, at least from 2024 December after the elections. The party has been talking about unity. Now you are aiming to rebuild. Why? Are there cracks that must be patched up? And that's why the party is talking about rebuilding, and like you have mentioned, unity. What's happening that the party is so focused on things like rebuilding?
My brother, truth be told, when you go into an election and your performance becomes such abysmal, that alone should send you a signal for you to know that there is something fundamentally wrong. And for you to be able to ascertain what is fundamentally wrong, if you go into the status quo, you realize that it was as a result of, if I may say, sort of factionalism or certain disparity in certain ideas, and some people felt they were being maligned or they were being pushed to the back. That's why you see or you realize that most of the leaders and the people of the party are talking about unity. And you know, for you to be able to win an election, to me, the key is unity. The key is unity because what will push somebody to want to join the queue on that 7th December to go and vote is when the person is at peace. It's when the person is at peace. And unity can only be realized through fairness. Through fairness. And like one of the aspirants usually say, if there is fairness and there is justice, unity is definitely the end result. So it's not as if the party is going down, but you know, there are cracks in the party. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So we identify and diagnose ourselves to know that we are sick, so that we get the right remedy, get the right medication to cure our sickness, to be able to stand firm, to be able to stand strong, and be able to surge forward and fight to be able to win power again in 2028.
You speak for one of the leading members of the party who actually wants to be flag bearer. The last time he was not successful, but he has also communicated his intention to run again. And back to this conversation about factionalism in the party, how is your side of the party relating with every other person? Is there some? Are you okay? Are there any issues? Because people are worried about things like that.
Okay.
Thank you. We've just been joined also on set by Titus Global, former Greater Accra Regional Chairman. So, Eric, I was asking you about the factionalism earlier, by the way.
You see, in every political dispensation, let's tell ourselves the truth. Everybody who tries to aspire for a certain position comes with a certain clout. No matter what happens, when the elections are over, through your speech, through the way you bring or onboard the people back, that will foster certain peace and get the people united so that they can represent a united front to be able to set forward. Okay. Once that thing is not done, and the things are done as if you want the thing by your own self, so you don't need A or you don't need B to be able to win that sort of power from the national electorate. That is what happens. I'm saying this on the back that certain people step on certain toes. I always say that when you get the opportunity to speak to people as communicators, it's just an opportunity. The idea that I'm sharing here, that doesn't make me a super person. Somebody who will get the same opportunity and maybe might be able to articulate himself or maybe able to pass certain ideas over better than I do. So when you get the opportunity, what do you say? You let the people know that whether we like it or yes, we are the Great Elephant Party. I can't stand without you. So know that you can't also stand without me. We need each other. And in that collaboration, we can stand and stand tall. Ghanaians know that the NPP party is the party that can really take Ghana to that destination. But by our own doings, sometimes we do things that sort of make Ghanaians, should I say, very angry at us. Very angry at us. That's why we are all preaching unity. You hear all the leadership saying unity, because we all know that united we stand.
All right.
United we stand.
Former Greater Accra Regional Minister, that's Daniel Lee Pate Titus Global. I hope I got all your name right. Well, welcome once again.
That's my boss.
Yes. It's good to see you here, and as well as everybody who is gathering in this particular venue for this important exercise by the NPP. First of all, let me get your initial comments on what you think of this exercise, the timing and everything, especially coming from an election where the party had a massive defeat. What would you tell me about today's exercise?
The timing is apt. It is important that we meet like this, where the constitutional provisions of our party take stock of our activities. But essentially, this conference is to look at the report of the General Secretary, the National Treasurer, and the various amendments that have been looked at by the National Council. And the National Council has approved what the Okwe report did. But immediately when we lost, the party formed this Okwe report to go around the 276 conferences and get a feel, what really caused us to lose some business. Okay. And based on these things, this report that they generated was submitted to the Steering Committee, to the National Executive Committee, the National Council, and now we are before the Constitutional Conference, the highest decision body, to take care of these constitutional amendments. And for me, I think that in every society, in every political party, in every country, there are times that you need certain decisions that will help you in the transformation for the forward march and development of that institution. And that's exactly what we're doing. In every election, I've been to election 3 times. I won 2 and I lost 1 in the parliamentary election. Every election is a cycle, a new strategy, the way it is done. Okay? So either we do the bottom up, and now based on the report that we pay as submitted to the party, they said they want to look at the presidential elections. Some may not be happy, some may not be happy. That is why we are here. And I have 3 reasons why I think that the the election of the presidential candidate is good for us. One, to kill and to win all those differences that is coming up. This is a genuine battle. Why do I have to attack and insult him? Even though if I disagree with him. The leaders who have taken the opportunity to even to contest are nice among themselves. But they are analysts, they are supporters. When you listen to someone on several remarks and some are made against each other, you are empowering the opponent of NDC to use that same information to attack the party.
Whose fault is that?
I blame all the supporters of those respective leaders. How would they insult anybody? How would you do that? So one of the reasons why I buy into the election of the federal is one, it's going to unify the party. We'll take it off. Because the tension that has characterized this thing will be eroded. It wasn't going to give enough time to heal. In every election, the vanquished is always disappointed. Sometimes you have to be talked to, forced to come and join. But you have 3 years to go into the national elections where you let the flag out. So long as you see yourself as a genuine patriot, at least you understand and come back to it. Finally, it is going to give an opportunity for the flag bearer to have 3 years to campaign across this country. 3 years. Because it is always done last. You do from the police station, local area, constituency, region, national, then the flag bearer. You have limited time to heal. You can't even campaign. But now you have 3 years. You can come everywhere and make sure things that will be marketed well, will be marketed. So for me, I believe in that arrangement. If after that, Congress will agree that we should start from the police station to national, that is fine. But for now, it's important that we take the February elections off our back so that we focus in the building. Sometimes when you are building, you have a house and it's cracking from the top before you come to the base. You go and look at it and start working on the top that is cracking and deal with it. Do you understand? So I want to appeal. Members should calm down. We should speak less. We should listen and stop attacking each other. So this conference, with the team rebuilding with our values, it is important that we let go every pain and come together. President Kufuor always said, it is better to be a messenger in a ruling government or ruling party than the proud general secretary in opposition. What are you going to get? So even if I'm a cleaner in government, in a ruling party, it's more important than to be in the position as a general secretary.
There's a conversation around having time to do all of the things we want to do. That's why you actually are okay with the decision to go with the election of the leadership first and all that. But then also there are people who also say that how about the MPP gives itself enough time to properly strategize and come back rather than thinking about the next election in 2028, which is only 3 years away.
When the October committee was going on, all these people had an opportunity to be in their positions to make these ideas known to the October report. They went through all of us and took those decisions. Where were they? Where were they? It's a good idea though, but for now, the more you delay, the more the cracks continue. The more the insult for one another continue. And the focus is on the presidential elections. The focus is there. When you sit and you watch all of these things, my mother was telling me, but everything is real. My mother tells me, even though I'm not part of those people who are doing it, the old lady who is 82 years will tell me, but they feel 1 year. They are talking too much. Because what we do that the silent majority supporters, they are getting more. So sincerely, I believe that let's take away the presidential elections. And trust me, when it is done, all these we will subside and grow the party.
The motions that are in the amendments you are going to look at today, what are the biggest talking points in there, or the ones that you personally want to see adopted into the new constitution?
It's not one, adopt all.
All the 56?
All, they should adopt all. expansion of the electoral college is very key. Monetization in our politics is becoming a headache. I've been to elections. As a parliamentary candidate, it's always a hell. But the general masses who are voting for us, they hear this, they see it. Sometimes they live with the delegates in the house. He's coming there, he comes with a tabletop fridge. He comes with a television set, and it's a pocket money. And when it's general election, you want him to go vote for you. He will do it. So the few MPP delegates are enjoying the general interest of the general party people on the ground. So let's exploit it gradually so that people inevitably can come in so that you not be able to have money to spend. The current electoral college of the East is 1,200 pounds. If he's able to expand to about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, how much can we afford? That will help us to rebuild the party for 2028.
All right, I asked the same question, but what do you think?
Yeah, to add to what my brother just said, you see, you go to certain polling stations, you ask the person his or her position, and he or she doesn't even know. He or she doesn't even know. What is the requirement? Is it just that I just want to be a polling station executive, just to be a delegate, to be able to take money at a certain point in our political dispensation when there's about to have primaries? No. You are elected as a polling station executive, so that if anything that a party has to carry across in your polling area, you have to be at the helm of affairs. You have to be at the helm of affairs. So expanding the college, meaning you are bringing more workforce, and more workforce, if their capacity is built enough, it means they are going to make the party look more attractive. To add another thing to it, there's one thing to it, our party, the monetization. The monetization. I came to this place. I've gone to almost about 60, 70 constituencies. Some are telling me we got 10,000 from Mr. A. We've gotten 17,000 from Mr. B. When is Mr. C coming? When is Mr. D's coming? We are coming for a congress. And for that matter, what I'm coming to do. NEC has got us certain proposals, certain amendments that has to be adopted.
Okay.
So you are coming here as constituency executives, you are coming here as regional executives, you are coming here as national executives to come and share and to be able to adopt the proposal that has been made by NEC. What is it that you get candidates going around giving certain constituencies money, 10,000 across all the constituencies, 276 constituencies, 10,000 per constituency. One has also gone out giving 17,000 per constituency. What are we doing to ourselves? Just for it that some people told me that so that when somebody comes, they should just shout, no change, maintain. Somebody has also gone to give something. When they come, shout, change. What are we doing to ourselves? What are we doing to ourselves? So if the electoral college is expanded, and maybe we are fortunate on a day like this, it will definitely happen again, because MPP is a party that will grow from strength to strength. It doesn't matter how we fall. We regroup, we strategize, and we bounce back stronger. This has happened to us before. And I tell you, we are coming back very strong. Very strong. The people within the party who want to sort of hijack power to some extent, and they don't care how weak they will take the party before the party stands on its feet again, we are not going to give them that chance this time.
I want to release Honorable, but before you go, just help us understand how will the new amendments that are going to take place today, what's the process like? How does it go about? For just our viewers, you know, what happens in there?
The chairman of the Constitutional Committee, the seated, the whole conference will be chaired by the second vice chairman of the party. So they will start from one amendment to the other.
All the 56.
So all those who have proposed those amendments, their names will be mentioned, and it will be read on their behalf, and they'll put it before the conference. And based on that, if they approve of it, they'll move to the next one. The conference have been to, that's how it's done. So, for example, it is you who said we want the age limit for the youth to be reduced from 40 to 35. It stands in your name, so they will read it. That so and so said this, that. So a motion will be moved, it will be seconded, and based on that, they move for the conference via no.
Okay, all right.
to add something to what my senior just said, you see, we are in a conference, but for the legality purposes, at a certain point in time, the General Secretary will move it into Congress to be able to come out with the amendments.
That's
what
after.
I'm saying, that
Yes.
after his report.
After his report, yes. He
The
moves it.
president's report.
Yes.
Then we finish. These are the two things.
The two things.
When that is done, then we move to amendments.
All right. I want to thank you, Honorable Daniel Titus Glover, and then
in your side,
Eric Inti Mensah also here on set with us. Thank you all very much for joining us on set. This is still a coverage of the MPP's National Delegates Conference happening here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. We are crossing over to the main event happening just across here. We're bringing all of the happenings in this all-important New Patriotic Party event. This is Election Desk on GhanaWeb TV. Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Can we go? Is it sound? Please speak for them. Also. Hello? This is our continuous coverage of the New Patriotic Party's National Delegates Conference happening here in Accra, the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. I have with me former Member of Parliament for Botiano English Amanfu, Sylvester Tete. Hi, welcome to our set.
Thank you.
How's it been? Since morning, it's nearly this afternoon now.
I've been reconnecting with friends I've seen in a long while. People I chat with on social media, senior government or former government officials, senior party people. I've gone through the stands, having chit-chat side lines of the conference. Obviously, it's the best moment to be an MPP president after a heavy defeat in the last election. This is our first ever outdoor event that brings people who have been mourning over the last 6 months. This is another opportunity for us to shake off the defeat and look forward into the future.
How do you describe this as the best time for the party, especially with such a result from 2024 coming into this conference?
Well, of course, if you lose, you don't stay in your defense. You have to shake it off and move forward. Okay. Like I said, this is the first ever outdoor event for the party after we've lost the election. Having lost the election, you have a huge toll on yourself, on the party, the psyche of the party, and its followers. Today, if you go to master courage, following the processes we put in place through the microcredit committee's report, we have the Constitutional Amendment Committee. We put this conference together to help change some sections of our constitution. Okay. The motions are before the conference today. I think that this is a moment that people will go back to their constituencies with renewed mind, that we have to shake off the mind of the past electoral defeat that we suffered, and forward look at the changes we are bringing to the administration of the party, and ensure that we work to ensuring that we win power in 2028. The journey of 2028 has just begun and has been rebirthed today in Lagos.
All right, and the party says they are rebuilding, and there are also rumors around that this party is not what it used to be in the past.
Well, I disagree with them, because the past of the party is we stayed in opposition for 30 years, from 1979 to 2000. We won back power in 2000. We lost it in 2008. And we regained power in 2016. So we lost before, we won before, and we win again. So when they say it's not the same, it will never be the same, because the leaders of yesterday will not resurrect to build this party, except those of us who are here today to rebuild the party. I'm putting myself as a general secretary for this party. I've had over 30 years experience in this party, and I believe that that's what it takes. Judging from the history, our forebearers, and the team that we put together, we can lead this party back to power.
Let's come to the amendments that are going to be looked at today within this conference. What do you make of these 56 motions that have been tabled? The ones that you and other delegates, over the 6,000 delegates who are going to be either approving or otherwise here. What do you make of these 56?
Well, these are motions seen out of many memos sent to the Constitutional Review Committee. In the minds of the committee, they think these motions or these amendments they are seeking to achieve are popular among the thousands of memos that were sent to the committee. So today, they've circulated it, we've gone through it. I personally have no issue with each one of them. It is rather going to help to rebuild the party faster, or inclusion, and making sure the base is expanded, where you have former executives of this party, former members of parliament, leader who don't have a voice in decision-making process of the party. Today you're going to have your former members of parliament, former constituency executives, former lieutenant executives, former MMDCs, former ministers of state, being part of the rebuilding process. You can't get it any better than what we are proposing today. And I'm confident that our delegates will overwhelmingly go through the motions and put the party on the pedestal where we can regain power in 2028.
So you're hopeful that all the 56 will be adopted?
Yes, I'm convinced
one are you most convinced about should be adopted?
Every motion there, what I see is the age limit for youth organizers to slow down from 40 to 35. That I see is not popular among the youth base of our party. So I see a resistance on the part of our youth delegates in this conference as a matter of fact. That is the big unpopular one I foresee coming before the delegates this afternoon. However, I think that most of the reforms is that they are all in tune with the current trend and challenges we face in our party. Of course, the popular one is the scrapping of the super delegates we have in our party. Everybody is happy about that provision that we need to delete that from our constitution and whoever put himself vetted, gone through vetting. The delegates should decide. Over 300,000, we are seeking to bring over 400,000 delegates unprecedented in any democracy within the sub-region. And I think that we must commend ourselves for shaking up this early and trying to bring these reforms to ensure that the party is put on the pedestal to win elections in 2020.
All right, Sylvester, let me leave you. I know that you need to get back into there.
Thank you.
But all the best today as you go. So that's Sylvester Tete. He's former member of parliament for Botiano English Amafro constituency of the New Patriotic Party. One of those very outspoken members of parliament, formerly, of the MPP. Now says he wants to actually put himself forward for the general secretary position, but that will be in a later contest for the New Patriotic Party. We are still here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium here in Accra, where the New Patriotic Party, Ghana's biggest political party, and actually the political party that left power only a few months back, that is looking to rebuild, regroup, and then forge ahead to the 2028 general election. So the party is going to adopt some 56 motions that have been tabled after scaling down from 300 petitions, contributions actually, that were sent in from across the country that the New Patriotic Party will be looking at. A number of them that the guests who have come on our set this afternoon have actually spoken about have to do with the reduction in the age of the election for national youth organizers for the 40 to 35. Also, there is also the motion for more women participation in the election of delegates. That's the number 53 is motion 53. I just want to read that. It says amend Article 15.3 of the Constitution to make all female delegates at the National Delegates Conference eligible to vote for the position of National Women Organizer. Just gone by not too long ago, the former Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, who was also the 2024 flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, arrived here to a rousing welcome. And also just before we got back on set, former Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ohene Japan, also arrived with a crowd of people, I must say, a crowd of people chanting, we want change, we want change, we want change. Hopefully, that is the message they want to send out to their delegates as the party forges ahead to 2026, January, where they will elect their new flag bearer. We're looking forward to that contest, which will be keenly contested. At least so far, we know that the former Vice President, who was their 2024 flag bearer, has already put himself forward again to run. People have been calling for him to run again. And then Kennedy Japan, who was unsuccessful the last time, wants to once again give it another shot, as well as other names that are also popping up. But for now is the Delegates Conference, where the MPP is actually adopting some proposed amendments to their constitution. The MPP wants to put in some new amendments. Hopefully, that would help them to be able to forge towards the 2028 general elections. And let's also remind you that in 2024, the MPP suffered its greatest defeat ever. Arguably the greatest defeat of any political party in the history of this country, and especially in the Fourth Republic since 1992. No party has had such a defeat, massive defeat, and one that has cut down the number of members of parliament, even of the New Patriotic Party in parliament, to a number just below 90. That's around 88, 87 members of parliament, with the NDC having nearly 190 members of parliament, becoming a super majority in parliament, a situation that allows them to do almost anything they want without necessarily having any members of the MPP around to do that. But they say that they are a mighty minority, and that's what they want to do today with this starting of a national delegates conference, where the party wants to adopt some of these motions, these amendments to the constitution. And I want to take you through the members of the Constitution Amendments Committee, those who ensured that they were able to scale down these over 300 proposals that were sent from across the country, scale them down to 56. And they are from the chairperson or the chairman, that's lawyer Frank Davis, who was the chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee. Idi Muhayuddin Esquire, also private legal practitioner, is member and secretary. There is Honorable Patricia PJ, who is deputy minority leader, a member of parliament for Asqua. She's also a member of that committee. There is the Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, former Minister of Works and Housing, and also member of parliament for Ofuanse Ayerbi. He's also a member of that committee. Then we have the Volta Regional Chairman, Makafu Iwanya, who's also a member of this committee. There's Diana Asonabadapa, former Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice, who's also a member of this committee. Then there's Dr. Antoinette Chibo Dako, is a Deputy General Secretary actually. She's actually the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, also on this Constitution Amendment Committee. Then there is the Honorable Ebenezer Gilbert Nate, former Member of Parliament, Ablekuma Central, also a member. And then Dr. Ikua Amwako, Youth Advocate, also being a part of that committee. So these names that I've just mentioned, they are the ones that looked at the various amendments that were sent in from across the country for review, and the committee was able to scale down the numbers from well over 300 to the 56 that has been captured in this booklet. And that's what the over 6,000 delegates of the new Patriotic Party will be looking at and ensuring whether or not they allow them to stay or not. They'll get into the constitution. We would know by close of day. It promises to be a full day of coverage. We'll be here giving you all of the details, the pictures, the interviews, the updates. And as I mentioned earlier, the former vice president is around. We'll hear from him. The former presidents of Ghana who are from the MPP faction, I'm talking about former president John Ajekun Kufuor and then former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, are not with us physically in this place, but by dint of technology's blessing, we will be able to hear from them. But we'll hear from Dr. Baumia himself in this very place, at this field, addressing the teeming crowd that are here. And all of the people who have passed through this set have said that they are hopeful. They are hopeful that it will be the turning point for the new Patriotic Party on its way back to rebuilding its fortunes and becoming a party that is once again attractive to the electorates in Ghana. So once again, it's our continuous coverage of the new Patriotic Party's National Delegates Conference that is happening here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium here in Accra, where some over 6,000 delegates have gathered to either adopt or throw out a number of these amendments that have been sent across from the country, from these delegates here. So we'll bring you more of the pictures, we'll bring you more interviews, we'll take you back to the real action that is happening on the field very soon. So stick and stay with us. Also remember that there's news happening on www.GhanaWeb.com. We are your #1 news website. You can't get wrong with that. Go to GhanaWeb.com Look for news on any of the sections: news, sports, business, entertainment, Africa, world, opinions, whatever it is you are looking for. And if you're on YouTube, look for GhanaWeb TV, subscribe, click on the notification button. We're giving you all the visuals right here from the University of Ghana Sports Stadium here in Accra. My name is Attractiveness, and I'll be with you throughout the day. Intermittently, we'll come back, bring you some interviews.
Bataya Lamona as an opposition. As an opposition
Patriotic Party is holding its National Delegates Conference.